Joining us now, Melvin Gatewood, retired Army combat veteran and co-founder of Operation Continue Service. Good morning, Melvin. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you for your service, sir.
Good morning, Gerard. Thank you for having me.
You bet. So we wanted to have you on to talk about the ruck event. Tell our audience exactly what a ruck event is. You guys just completed that, right?
Yes, we with Operation Continued Service, our motto is remembering those who have fallen while motivating those that still stand. So the ruck that we did on Saturday in Starksville, from Starksville, Mississippi to Columbus, was considered a recovery ruck, and that is more mental health based.
Okay.
So
So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Melvin, please.
no, no, I was just going to say, so with the recovery ruck, we are we are wearing the backpack, and the backpack symbolizes the mental anguish and the mental issues that veterans deal with both in the military and after the military. I have a vest that I have that it has MST, PTSD, anger, racism, depression, and anxiety, just to name some of the issues. But also inside the backpack, we have bricks, and we have those labeled as
Hmm.
well. So those are what we carried during that recovery run.
I got you. So what's the distance that you walk with those backpacks loaded down like that?
On this particular one, we did 20 miles.
Wow. 20 miles like that. Good grief, that's a lot. But so, and that's designed to essentially simulate the hardship and the challenges of our veterans.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
initially, the ruck was to bring awareness of veteran suicide and mental health issues. And we also had veterans from within the community. We had Assistant Chief of Police over in Starfield, Mr. Henry Stewart. He walked with us. We had another veteran that served with me in Iraq from out of Clarksville. He came up to ruck with us, but the other individuals were members of Operation Continued Service.
Gotcha. I understand. How long have these ruck events been going on, Melvin?
Well, we did our first Memorial Ruck in 2019 to remember Sergeant Travis Cooper in Macon, Mississippi, where we did 22 miles from West Lowndes Elementary School to the Oddfellow Cemetery in Macon, Mississippi, where he's buried.
Hmm. Interesting. Is this something that occurs across the country as well? Are there other
Well, no,
ruck events?
no. Well, yeah, it's other ruck events, but as for
Yeah.
with Operation Continued Service, we
Okay.
only are doing Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee.
Gotcha. Understand. All right. So mental health as it pertains to our veterans, this is a serious problem that needs attention. Tell us about what's going on there.
So when I'm actually employed by the Department of Veteran Affairs, so the nonprofit is something that I do on the side. I hear from veterans daily when I call to check in on them. I hear them saying that I'm looking for outlets. I'm looking for a way to get engaged. So to stop the isolation of veterans just being in the home and trying to get them engaged, we want to come into communities and we want to engage with them with the rucks. We're not asking anybody to do 20 miles. The 20 miles is really just to get the attention. When we're
Yeah.
doing the rucks inside the communities, like I do a ruck every month here in Middle Tennessee in Mount Juliet, and it might be 5 to 3 miles. So getting veterans out or family members of veterans out to come on the rucks, and while we're rucking, we're talking. Hey, what's going on? Tell me about how things been going with you. And then you have an individual open up, and they will start sharing. We are not licensed clinical professionals, but we know licensed clinical professionals that we could refer the individuals to. We could refer them to the Wounded Warrior Project, the Department of Veteran Affairs, the Simplify America's Fund, or like what we did Saturday at the end of our ruck, we had a big resource fair where we had the Tuscaloosa VA Medical Center come over. We had the Wounded Warrior Project. They had a table. The Simplify America's Fund, they had a table. But it's also important to get those local providers to come in as well, where we had community counseling, and then we had some private counseling agencies. Harris Counseling Services, she came in, and then we had another individual with, I think it was Safe Talk, where veterans or anyone that's dealing with mental health issues, they can call in and they can talk to a professional about those issues.
How big an issue is this, Melvin? This mental health situation within the community of veterans?
It's very serious. At one point in time, we heard 22 a day. I think that the last time that I got the data on it, I think it was a little under around 17, but one is too many.
Sure. Wow.
I've known of individuals, even in the area where we were rucking, that we have had veteran suicides there. I've had personal people who I've served with, who I know we have lost to suicide. So we just want veterans to know that we're here for them. And if we are out, we're doing the rucks. And also, one of the other things that we do with our organization is do veterans coffee socials. We had the opportunity to go over to the Center for American Veterans there on Friday at Mississippi State and host our second veteran coffee social there, where we have veterans come in, get coffee, chat with other veterans, and also we have resource table where they can pick up resources as well.
Yeah. Wow. So you guys are trying to, I guess, get the word out and make it known that these veterans that are suffering from a depression or other just mental health issues, that there are resources available to work with them, to counsel them, and get them in the right place so they don't take their own lives.
Yes, most definitely, especially with our underserved areas and our areas that have limited access. So we are very passionate about those small towns.
Yeah. Melvin, what typically is the cause or the reason why a veteran would get to that point, such that they would even consider taking their own life? What is it unique about? Is it something they encountered while in combat, in particular, where they witnessed firsthand these atrocities? I know you too, sir, are a combat veteran.
Yeah, I'm a combat veteran and I'm a Purple Heart recipient. Every case
Wow.
differ. It can be something that happened overseas that they just haven't gotten over and they haven't processed it, or it could just be your daily interactions as for financial issues. It can
Yeah.
be the anxiety of having to be a father, having to be a husband, and you're not making ends meet. I think that the big picture of what they experience in Iraq or in combat, that does play a major part on it as well, especially with having survival remorse.
Okay. Survival remorse. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but of course that I got to believe that's just hard to reconcile and come to grips with if you've had any situation like that. Are you aware of any individuals that got very close to that point but were able to get proper clinical treatment and help to
Yes,
avoid? Yeah. Okay.
yes,
So you
because
know the treatment works, and it's just a matter of getting them connected to it.
yes, I know that the treatment worked, and the thing is about this ruck march that we did. Someone asked me, they said, "Well, Melvin, how would you gauge the success of your ruck?" I said, I felt that it was successful before we even stepped off because I had a veteran that came to me a couple of days before we actually did the ruck and said, "I heard about what you all was doing. I had to go leave my unit and I had to go down to Jackson to seek help during a drill weekend. And I know what the facility did for me. I know what the
Wow.
program did for me. So that said a lot for me to hear. And it says a lot for our Department of Veteran Affairs, even the one there in Jackson, Mississippi, GV Son and Montgomery VA, where I was actually employed with at one point in time as well. So we're doing excellent things to help veterans. We just need to let them know that we are here. So I feel that with our organization going there to meet veterans where they are, especially in those small towns. That's very important. And there's a lot of stigma related to mental health. So I want people to know that you're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you,
Sure,
and it's
sure.
okay to seek help.
Yeah, excellent guidance and wisdom there. Melvin, thanks so much for joining us here on Middays. Fascinating learning
Thank you
about
for
this.
having me.
And most importantly, once again, sir, thank you for your service and your sacrifice to our nation on behalf of the entire nation. Thank you. Appreciate it, Melvin.
Thank you.
We'll step aside for a break right here on Middays. We got